The Need in Me.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead. It's a brand new day.
You betcha.
Okay.
Good morning. Now prepare to experience the most outrageous man on radio.
It's an excursion into the odd and into the very, very different.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
This is insane.
Quality, quantity, and variety.
ROCKFLUX.
Let's get this show on the road.
And away we go. Welcome to another edition of Tony Caravan Live, the only show that is brought to you live at 4:05 a.m. Eastern Time on the 4th of March, 2022 by one, I don't know. Man, I don't know. How would you classify a guy like me, right? The unknown, the author of 10 books and 50 songs and, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds. We're going to be coming up on 500 nearly consecutive videos, thousands of videos out there and videos and webcasts. But I mean, coming up on almost on 500 by the end of this month, I think, or something around that. I don't know. It's insane, right? Like they say.
This is insane.
Anyway, here we go. Today is Monday, the beginning of the work week, so let's take a look.
The Weather Watch forecast.
And you got to keep in mind, I'm in the mid-Atlantic states, east of the Ohio Valley, but not exactly at the shoreline. Quite a distance, actually. And somewhere close, the northern Appalachians come through here. But I'm not in the Northeast either. So this is kind of a generic East Coast weather forecast. It's currently freezing outside. It's 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to go down to 30. I left my hoses out in the backyard. Hopefully the hose doesn't freeze. Hopefully the pond doesn't freeze. No rain expected today, a high of 45. But it looks like from this point on, from this moment on, no more blue sky. Well, we hope we get some blue skies. Tomorrow, 70% chance of rain. Wednesday, 60% chance of thunderstorms. Thursday, 60% chance of thunderstorms. Friday, 50% chance of rain. April showers bring May flowers. The only problem, it's going to be, into the 30s at night and stuff. I don't know. It's not exactly planning weather. Cold weather, crops only, please.
The Weather Watch forecast.
I've had a headache all night long. That either means I have a low-grade fever or high blood pressure. Either way, drinking coffee is probably not going to solve that problem. The woman, one of the most beautiful women in the world, is Rita Hayworth. Look at her in that picture. Rita. Lovely Rita. I wonder if Paul McCartney was thinking of Rita Hayworth. My face at this morning with this lighting and stuff next to that doll face. In this day and age, this show is not about Hollywood starlets or pretty girls. It's like, those are two things you don't say in today's world. Starlet, pretty girl. I don't care. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me what people say. And that, more or less, people, as I add a little bit of colorization to my face. Notice that? Is the title of the show. They can't make you forget the past. And I put in the first chat of the day that says, truth and reality are immutable. Okay? Sorry to use such a big word, but that word, that's the word that basically says it all. They can't make you change the past. And I think this is something, and I usually don't dive right into it, and I'm sure I'll deviate from topic, but I usually don't dive in instantly like this. But I was thinking about this not for a long time and not all night long. I just kind of thought about it this morning, right as I was getting ready for the show, because these things are unscripted and I just kind of wing them. It's amazing I could wing 2 hours like this. But, there's all of this revisionism. There's all these people that are, to use an idiotic word out of the past as well, scolding you for not using the proper reference to an individual or whatever, or the revisionist history and all of these things. If I didn't say that before, I'm just waking up, really. This show came together pretty quick. But the point is, they can't make you change the past. Reality and truth are immutable. And reason I say that, and there might be some people out there like, duh, but no, really think about it. Look at the broad society today, overall. And that's exactly what they're doing, or attempting to do. But I think they're succeeding with it, and they have succeeded in many respects. I believe tens of millions of people, if not 100+ million people in the U.S. alone, have allowed themselves to literally have some Johnny or Janie come lately tell them that the past that they know, experience, lived through was not real, was not the past, wasn't the way it happened. But you were there, they weren't. All right? Right? Truth and reality are immutable. Okay? And if you don't know what that word means, look it up. And this is how you win. These are the little victories. If you want just one victory, to quote a Todd Rundgren line, that's it. In your mind, your consciousness, right? That existential thing we spoke about yesterday and the day before and probably 500 shows prior. I'm slurping my coffee when I bend my head down like that. I know if that offends you or bothers you, but I don't want to get rid of this beautiful picture of Rita. Man, that's Rita at her best. Look at that cute thing. Look at that face. There was something. She had to be one of the single most beautiful women in Hollywood. And even as she matured, this is young. Fred Astaire, she's talking to Fred Astaire in this. There's a video. What turned me on to this, this video, but not the concept for this show. Last night, by chance, I happened upon a video that was Fred Astaire and Rita Hayworth dancing to Led Zeppelin's. People do these videos. Sometimes they used to call them mashups, but it's not really a mashup. It's kind of. But they took Fred Astaire and I was going to say Ginger Rogers, but Fred Astaire and Rita Hayworth dancing to Led Zeppelin's Rock and Roll, the song Rock and Roll. And while it wasn't perfect, it was obviously the taste of the guy who did the thing. That was like his bands. He had bands like Rat, I think, or whatever. There's a channel, it's called Retro, I think, that you could find this thing. You just look it up, you'll find it. It's worth looking at. But so this morning, that was on my mind. This morning I snagged a still from that movie. This movie's got to be, it had to be out of the 40s. So you're talking about, 80 years old, something like that. But look at her. Look at the face. Look at that cute thing. And you should see the body on that. What a body. She had a perfect body, too. Yeah. Rita. But this show is not about Hollywood starlets or pretty girls. It's about the truth. It's about the immutable truth. It's about reality. It's about you and your life and taking charge of your life, right? And not allowing someone else to tell you how to act, how to speak, right? I think I touched on this a long time ago, but it's so long ago that, and I don't know how in depth I got into it. But the idea is that the funniest thing, in the sad way, I mean, funny, not funny, ha ha, about this whole, like, weirdness that's been going on in the past 10 years, maybe max, but 5, 7 years, I don't know, when this whole wokeism or whatever it's called started taking hold. And again, remember, that has nothing to do with politics or ideology or your belief system. This is just some manufactured thing that kind of went viral. Think about that. Like people use that word, right? Wokeism or something. But it's a word that went viral. It's like a meme. And like certain things traveled, and because it might get picked up by somebody who happens to have a particular blue check on their Twitter page or something, Twitter bio, and they retweet, right, or repost it on, when Facebook was still happening. Facebook pretty much has died now, I think. I mean, if you haven't grasped that, And this site Getter that they have out there has really so many people have moved to that site that has really become a presence that people are unaware of. And Rumble's growing at a really fast clip. I think Trump made a big mistake by not going on to Getter and starting his own thing. I mean, that was very egotistical and counterproductive on the part of the Trump organization, as they call it, I guess. But I don't want to get into personalities of that sort. I'd prefer personalities of this: pretty faces, pretty girls, starlets. And man, I know what a torment that is to certain people. I know how that torments certain people. But the idea is, it is what it is. And reality is reality. Truth is truth. What you have done, what you have experienced, cannot be taken away by a meme or by an individual or a group that says that's wrong speak or that's not the way it was. See, because people like me who have traveled, who have lived life and lived in major markets and have known thousands of people, literally thousands of people, right? I've partied with thousands of people, not at a party where there were 1,000 people or some rock concert or rave. No, I mean like individually. I've met thousands of people. I've known thousands of people. There are thousands of people who literally know me. Not like the thousands of fans even Rita Hayworth might have had. They were fans. I don't have fans, These days, I don't have a lot of fans. There was a time when I had a fan club, kind of, but, these days, no, I don't have a fan club. I have 50 songs out there, but I don't really have a fan club. You want to be the president of my fan club, my international fan club? I prefer that to be actually someone from Japan, right? Maybe somebody, one of you, I have some Japanese followers on Getter. Maybe if one of you folks would like to be the president of my international fan club, drop me a line on Getter, and we'll talk about it. Yeah. But I've got 10 books. So, I have enough, materials out there that I could have a fan club, and and it's certainly enough of these 2-hour movies I do every day, right? I mean, what else could you call them? They're feature-length videos, right? The morning show, metal mug. Boy, does the coffee is hot in this thing. I still have the ceramic one behind me, but the handle broke off when I told you when I saw that rodent out in my backyard. I'm not too, like, sour this show. Been trying my best to do the most humane, I guess you would call that, or whatever thing, such as like dumping Clorox, along the path where it enters my yard from the neighbor's yard and things like that. In other words, odors that would repel it. I guess my next step is going to try ammonia, and then it's a matter of just, unfortunately, trying to waste money. Excuse me. I didn't mean to.
Really funny. Really funny.
These guys, geez, you can't get away with anything.
Okay.
So, but I mean, waste money that I could be using to fix my roof, to, spend on parts of this house that need reinforcement, need fixing, repairs, the garden, all these other things. I have a ton of things that I could be putting any kind of money that comes my way, which right now my bank account is basically zero. But when I do get a few bucks, I'm going to have to spend it on like bags of like quick setting concrete, 2x6 or 2x8 planks. I understand that some of those boards now are cost as high as $30 or $40 for a board. And in the U.S., the price of lumber has not gone up. And that there are mills, and the thing is, some people have a problem when people use wood, and they don't really see wood as the renewable resource that it is, and that the benefit of certain uses of wood. Like, I'm against building stick homes, what I call them, 2x4 homes down in hurricane or tornado alleys, down that area, because they're just not sturdy enough to withstand something is going to happen every year. It's just a matter of what location the storm happens to hit. But, up here in the mid-Atlantic states, and I'm not talking about building a home anyway, I'm talking about building raised beds for gardening or reinforcing a fence to keep rodents out. But the idea is that this entire, that 0.004 CO2, which is a trace gas, by the way, is the thing that just brings life to trees and plants, and that's how we have food. And the byproduct is oxygen, which we breathe, okay? It's basically the secret to life. We could double the value of CO2, and this planet and you and I will do much, much better, all right? That's another one of those things. They try to change reality, right, with their words, their ideas. Oh, but this science schmience. It's scientism. It's a religion that they've created. They've created a religion called scientism. Yesterday's show was Into the Mystic. And it was the idea there, and I'm not going to repeat what I said yesterday, but the idea that there were thousands and thousands, millennia of tales, stories, documentation, and suddenly scientists, so-called scientists have come along in the past several hundred years and created this scientism. And so everything prior to that, all the thousands and thousands and thousands of years of documentation is referred to as mythology, right? Or these people were worshiping, all those buildings they built were all temples only. Okay, I mean they built some temples. I understand that. And Danica Patrick, I understand you visited a nice temple in Egypt and all that stuff. That's fine. I'm not saying that didn't happen. No, those places don't exist. I'm just saying that every ancient building wasn't a frickin' temple. All right? And that every story from the past, thousands and thousands of 10,000 years, was not myth. All right? And that science, all right, not Scientology, don't get me wrong. I'm not, because that is part of us, that's as bad as scientism. But so-called science, right, from the Thomas Dolby song, is some new thing. It's new. And, most of the things that people refer to as science are still theoretical. They're theories, right? Whereas something like the pyramid exists in stone and is there, right? One. You can't change history, all right? Truth and reality are immutable, all right? So anyway, and, I got on a tangent. I lose my trend of thought, but we'll get back to it. But it was about, I think, what I was thinking about this morning, I guess, somehow. That was the trend of thought where I was moving. But anyway, the idea is that how quickly we adapt and allow ourselves, or, and when I say ourselves, I don't really mean to include myself in that. Though, pardon me, I guess I have been victim, of that, or, an unwilling, victim, or